There are all kinds of ways to shake up your creativity, but the best way is by trying something new. Artist Cindy Lohbeck discovered a new technique in dyeing, where the folds allow glitches of color to bleed through, creating fascinating intersections of color. In my segment, I'll share something new I've been experimenting with, little landscapes. It's been a wonderful, fun place to play with fabric and free motion thread work. Whether you're working with dye or thread, let today's episode spark something new in your own art.
Quilting Arts TV is brought to you by
the BERNINA 990. If it can be imagined, it can be created.
Panasonic, maker of the 360-degree freestyle cordless iron.
Artistic Artifacts, sewing and mixed media supplies for hands-on creativity.
eQuilter.com, quilt fabrics and sewing supplies, international distributor of Fabrics Online.
Gentle Fuse Fusible Web, made for quilters from Maywood Studio.
I'm here today with Cindy Lohbeck, and Cindy is going to introduce us to a brand new kind of dyeing called glitch dyeing. Cindy, what's it all about?
Well, it's brand new, and I am just getting the grip of it myself. I saw it online and on t-shirts, and I thought, oh, I don't want any more t-shirts. I'm a quilter. So I taught myself how to do it. And I am going to start small today. I'd love to share it with you. And much like all of fabric dyeing, the prep is everything.
Right, so you're starting with white fabric prepared for dyeing.
This is my prepared for dye fabric, and I've got some soda ash in a spray bottle and a good hot iron.
Great.
Okay, and what I am going to do is what is known as a running pleat or a knife pleat. And I've got the first one started here. I like to start in the middle of the fabric rather than at the bottom. If I start at the bottom and work my way up, I'm usually pretty wonky by the time I get to the top. So if I start in the center, I know I'm going to have a clean horizontal line in the middle. And I'm going to pick up this next piece of fabric. And
sort of estimating.
And I can either measure it and go for that accuracy thing you guys like so much, or I can eyeball it. And what I'm going to do is bring the top of the next pleat up to the bottom of the first pleat.
Okay.
And I'm going to give it a little spritz. This is soda ash. And I'm doing this because I want soda ash in the mix the whole way.
So when I've done dyeing before, I've pre-soaked my fabric, and you don't really need to do that, do you?
No, we want this fabric to be a little bit drier, but without soda ash, your colors are not permanent and color fast.
Right, so you're just adding that
We have to introduce it into the mix.
Okay.
And I find that this is a real good way to keep your fabric pressed lightly. I'm going to pinch another pleat here. And when I'm going to keep going all the way across this fabric.
And then just keep pressing it until you've made all of your knife pleats.
And when I'm done, it's going to look something like this.
Just take this to the side.
And you can see that I've got nice running pleats or knife pleats.
This is really, really tight.
Yeah, I've got it pressed in here.
So
I don't want these moving.
That is the most important step, is to do it this way, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what's next?
So from here, what I'm going to do, and a glitch is nothing more than a hiccup.
Right. So we've got like 4 or 5 hiccups going on right here.
If I'm a piece of fabric and I've got dye running down me, something as simple as a fold can be a hiccup or a glitch. Right. So we've got our first set of glitches here. Now I'm going to turn my fabric and I'm going to pleat my pleats.
Okay, let's see it.
Okay, so I like to get started with a little helper. It helps me keep my pleats lined up. And I can estimate where I want them. I pull it down line up
So all of these lines are
my
lining with
edges.
that.
Squirt it down. See how I'm getting soda ash on every layer
Right.
of pleats that I do?
Right, so you keep going
And I'm
going.
going to continue to pleat all the way up.
This looks so cool. It almost looks woven from where I'm
Well, it
standing.
really does.
Yeah.
And especially, let me pull it all out when this gets finished. I mean, this 22 by 22 piece of fabric, and I do like to work square with this. It's all folded down. It looks like a weaving, doesn't it?
It does. It looks like it's woven. That's really cool.
So we've got a glitch and a glitch.
Glitch, glitch. Now this is, the
And this
third one.
time, I'm going to turn it on point, keeping all of my wonderful pleats there. Again, I'm going to spray this down. We're not going to go wet. We're going to go damp with this one, moist.
Just a little.
And now,
Where those intersections are, it looks like you're taking the intersection.
I'm going to pleat the pleats. And this one is a stacked pleat.
That one looks like a bear.
It's well, yes, it
Yeah.
is. But I'm telling you what, it's worth it. I
Right.
love this technique.
So I have a feeling you're going to do this all the way up to the
Yeah,
top.
good guess.
Yeah, all the way up to the top.
And
All
when I'm
right.
finished, I will have an accordion fold. That's the first glitch.
Okay.
And the vertical pleats and the horizontal pleats. So
Mm-hmm.
we've got glitches all over the place here. And we're going to tuck in all of our edges.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have discovered, as much as I like working with rubber bands, that the artificial sinew works a lot better with this technique. These big ones are great. I like a littler one because it helps me give something to grip to pull this tight. I can pull this way tighter on a rubber band. So I like to start in the middle. I've got a slip knot going here. And what I'm going to do is just get, this stuff is so sticky.
It's sticky stuff.
There
you
it
go. You're
goes.
pulling it in and making it tight.
And we're going to get it tight. And now I'm going to take a few wraps and pull it. Oh, I can just feel that compressing, and I got that so tight that now I actually have a glitch and a glitch and a glitch and a glitch.
Yeah, I can tell. This is what makes that magic.
It does. And now
Yeah.
I'm going to move it down a little bit to the next section of pleats. I get it where I want it.
So you're being intentional about it, but you're adding the serendipity.
Look at how much I pulled it with just the fact that I can get a grip on this. Sometimes I wrap my sinew around a dowel rod because I really need that gripper to pull it tight.
And then you do it all the way.
All the way down.
And what does it look like when you're done?
When I'm finished, this is it.
That's it. And then we're ready to dye, right?
Well, I actually sprayed this down again with soda ash, and then I let it sit out a little while because I do like to dye these fairly dry.
Okay. Well, let's stop here and get set up for that dyeing.
Ooh, I'm excited.
So, Cindy, you've set it all up. We've got a tub here and some flexible plastic netting.
Flexi net. We're going to lift our project out of the drip pan.
Out of the drip.
So
Okay, so what happens next?
We're going to put our little treasure up there. Now, if I were doing, I could put several pieces on here, okay? And I'm going to come in and we're going to just cover it with ice.
Just dump it on top.
Just dump it on top. And I don't want too much.
It's Goldilocks, not too much or too little,
Not too
just the right
little.
amount. Yes.
Remember, this is dry.
Right.
And I am breaking my own rules, Vivica. I almost always use liquid dye. Today, we're going to use dye powder. So don your mask,
There
girl.
you go.
Whenever
Okay.
we use powder, we go out of our way to protect our lungs.
And you're going to sprinkle.
I'm going to sprinkle. Now, you got to be careful not to clump.
Okay, so show me what you do.
So what I'm going to do, I am picking colors that are known for their deep splits. And because my tying was at an angle, I'm going to put my die at an angle. So I'm going to reach in here and I'm just...
Oh, I can even see it on the ice, so it's coming out blue. So this one might have a little bit of yellow in it, tiny bit of yellow. And when you say split, what you're talking about is you're not using a pure color, you're using a mixed color.
Vivica, there's only 16 pure colors of dye. And if you put red on there, it's going to dye red. Well, I want a little more action than that.
Right, because I've also seen, when I've been buying this kind of dye, I can buy a lot of different colors, way more than 16. And so they'll put them in the jar, several different colors at the same time.
All these other colors are mixed out of the 16 pure colors. And splits, that term splits is used to, this one's supposed to be a blacky purple, but it was
I bet it will come out black purple.
I bet it will. And we're counting on the ice to create those splits. Sometimes I bag my dye, and in that case, this is...
Then you can just sprinkle it from the bag.
Do you believe this is a plum color?
Yeah, I do, because I've dyed before.
You never quite know, and you never go by what it looks like.
All right.
So what I might do is come in over here.
And just add a little
And
more.
that's plum. Now I can also come back in over here.
This is great, but I have a feeling it's got a batch, and we've got about a minute left.
Okay, I wrap it in plastic. I leave it for 24 hours. When I'm ready to rinse it, it's going to look something like this.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Now we're done with the powder, Vivica, so if you'd like, we can take our masks off.
Absolutely. Nothing's airborne anymore.
Nothing's
so let's do
airborne.
the big reveal.
The reveal. Well, this one is, I got it started unwrapping. You can see my wrap marks. Oh, this is nerve-wracking because this is a new technique for me. But I'm never afraid to open something new in front of people because if it's not perfect, it's a learning opportunity.
It always is.
And I am about perfecting this. The first one I did had a really funky corner.
But that's something you can use in your artwork.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
We're quilters, aren't we?
That's right. And this is such a beautiful technique.
So I'm going to get right down here now. I'm going to use these little suture scissors. This is a great...
Out. We'll open it up and have the magic happen.
These suture scissors get underneath there, but I've really got it tied tight. I'm going to use my bigger scissors. And I'm going to
This is the real life action here.
This is the way it goes.
That's right. So here we go, and you're going to cut it without cutting the fabric because that's the only thing that I would be worried about.
Well,
Well, let's see what it looks like.
let's see if it worked.
Magic. Here, we can do the whole thing open. This is it, folks.
This is a great big piece.
Beautiful glitch dyeing. Thank you so much for bringing this to us. I can't wait to do it in my own studio.
Thanks for letting me share.
And we'll be right back.
About a year ago, I was at my godson's wedding and I took a photo of the wedding venue. And when I got back after the wedding, I decided I would make him an extra little gift, an art quilt of this photo. And you can see here, this is the photo. It's a beautiful place in Virginia. And I loved the simplicity of it, right? It's a big band of blue, a band of green, this chartreuse, and then the dark shadowed area. So I created an art quilt that I gave to him, and now he has this wonderful memory of the place that he can share. And then I decided to do a piece based on Asheville after they had the catastrophic flooding there so that I could auction it off and raise some money for some great organizations. So this is a photo that I took of the Blue Ridge Mountains. And there's a buckeye tree in the foreground. And I liked, again, this for the simplicity of it. The piece that I made has layers of blue mountains, I did a lot of the detail with thread, and I made a piece about this size and auctioned it off. And this kind of got me on a roll. I had never made landscapes really before, and it was so much fun that I decided to make a whole bunch more. So let me show you some of those. So this piece is based on a vacation photo that my father took in 1968, I think. I was a little kid, and this is like an old slide, so it's got that blue cast to it, and I kept that when I made the piece. So this is Blue Mountain Lake in the Adirondacks. I remember paddling out to this little island where we picked wild blueberries, and then we jumped off the rock into the really frigid water. So on the finished piece, you can see I've emphasized the clouds a little bit, and I kept the cast of the photo because that's it kind of ties it to the time. So a lot of the thread work here is done on the trees to add the detail, a little bit in the water. This one is based on red rocks outside of Denver, Colorado, beautiful rock formations and an amphitheater behind it. So I changed the colors a little bit to brighten them up. I got several different greens. You can see the chartreuse green in here. And I added some yellow to brighten it up to show kind of where the light was hitting. I used some yellow thread. I did use a little bit of ink in this piece. Sometimes you can only do so much with a solid piece of fabric. So this is all one piece of fabric. I went in both with thread and with a little bit of ink, an ink pen, to add some of the detail in here. But it's always a challenge to me to try to do as much as I can with the thread. I love having fun in the skies. I tend to use a lot of hand-dyed fabrics, sometimes for my skies, so that I can get those very naturalistic looking backgrounds. You don't want it to be too flat. So in this piece, I found areas of the fabric where there was more white, and I stitched cloud shapes around them, and I heavily stitched in the background so that those clouds kind of puff forward. They look very dimensional. Now this is a little closer to home for me. This is Bald Head Island, North Carolina, which is a barrier island far south in North Carolina, south of Wilmington. And it has a beautiful, beautiful marsh. And the grass was especially green here because it was late summer. It was very lush and the colors were strong. Some of my favorite colors, that green and blue. So on this piece, I started with, and I liked this haziness. Can you see how this is lighter down here at the horizon than the darker blue sky up here? I actually used two different fabrics and then I kind of married them together with the stitching. So there are some subtle clouds in here. There's also a lot of the grass going on in here. This is one big piece of fabric, but I've covered parts of it down here with dark green, and then I used lighter green, and then I used yellow again, because even though this is a very light green, that bright yellow thread gives you the sense that the sunlight is cast down on the grass, so it's kind of glowing. I did use a little bit of ink again, right along the water line where the reeds meet the water. I used a blue-green permanent marker to give that little bit of shadow. Can you see it here in the photo? So that it has a sense of depth to it. And this piece is also North Carolina, Bald Head Island. This is a beach access, so a sandy path that goes up the dunes, and when you get to the top of the dunes, you can see the ocean. And to me, this is a strong memory. The sea oats are waving in the breeze, and the sky is brighter blue at the top. I'm going to show you a little bit about how to make one of these pieces. You start off with a great photo. So this is the photo on which this piece is based. I take the photo at the size I want the piece to be, and I put a piece of tracing paper or vellum on top, and I trace the main lines in the composition. So I've already done some of them, but I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. You don't want to be too fussy. You want to get this down and then do a lot of the details with thread. So I'm just tracing along the edge there of this piece. And here I'm seeing a darker area. I'm maybe going to go right along like that. And I usually label it. So I would put sand, and I would put dark green. All right? And next, you create the individual cut pieces. here you can see a completed drawing. And I'm going to take, this is a fusible adhesive that has 2 paper sides, and I'm checking to see which side the glue is on. I'm going to put it down on top of here. Sometimes if you can't see, you can use a light box, but I would trace that dark area like this. Make sure I'm leaving extra off the edge for the seam allowance. And then I would cut this piece out loosely, not right on the line. So here you can see it cut out loosely on the line. I'm going to peel that release paper without the glue off and put it down. You've got to make sure that everything you trace is in reverse. So this is traced in reverse, and I'm going to fuse it down to the wrong side of the fabric. Luckily we have a cordless iron here. So this gets fused down. Follow the directions on your fusible. And then I would cut it out exactly on the lines. And here again, there's going to be a lot of thread on there. You see how I'm wiggling my paper around rather than moving the scissors? And I can go really fast that way. Once that piece is cut out, I can peel this paper off and fuse it down to the composition. So I've got it all ready to roll. I've actually got this completely, everything's done except that one last piece. I think it needs to go down a little bit. Like that, and we're going to fuse that down in place, and then we'll be ready to stitch. So there we go. You might need a few more seconds if you're really following the directions. Let's take it to the machine, and I'll show you how I add detail. I'm going to work on this path. So see all those little, basically footprints there. Let's start off the edge here. Always bring my bobbin thread up, and I hold these threads out of the way. But your goal is not only to stitch things down, but to, you look at the photo and add some detail. I've got my free motion foot on here. If you're working on a domestic machine, make sure you've got your feed dogs down. In some areas, I'm going to want to purposefully go off the edge because there's a lot of detail in the sand I'm trying to capture. So I'm going to look at this piece a little bit, and I can look at my photo too and see that there's some places I want to add make it a little bit darker. So let's just wander over there. And as long as I'm making these curvy shapes that are kind of like those footprints, let's go out here. But I always want to make it look very organic. Like a bunch of people have walked that path. Because that's always how it looks. So I'm going out into the sand here, but I do want to try to hit each of these little pieces. Because if you don't hit them and they're real tiny, they tend to come off. So you just wander around in here. And I would just keep going like that until got a little too close to that pin there. I would keep going like that. I tried to get as many pieces down as I could before I move on to the other areas. So I tried to do a lot where I got those little pieces out of the way. Then I go into the grass area, and I'm making sure that I add lots of texture and color and make it look as realistic, as close to the photo as I can. So when I look at this piece, I just can hear my children saying, "We're here, we're at the ocean." I hope you enjoy this technique. See you soon.
From applied design theory to innovative technique, learn what fellow artists are up to within the art quilting community. Join us for Finishing Touches. It's the Quilting Arts Challenge called Fabulous Flowers, and we have 2 gorgeous pieces here with some really unique finishes.
Yeah, so this one has like chunky yarn, very textured.
Yeah.
That's stitched down around the outside to make a nice frame.
It's so good. And then this one has a left side band here that's pieced together, and it really goes well with the delicate stitching in the center of the flower.
It's really an elegant touch to an elegant piece. I think this fabric in the background
gives it that feel, and it also adds some movement. You've got that nice swirl.
Yeah, and there's a really good value chain from the back to the front, and it's faced with this dramatic left edge. It just really works well together.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And this one is just so much fun.
It is.
So is this they call it a confetti background, where you basically take teeny, teeny, tiny pieces of fabric and then trap it all under tulle and stitch.
Yeah, and it's so colorful. It's like just little bursts of color everywhere. And what the artist has done, if they used this black outline thread to really bring it back into focus.
It must have been interesting to plan this too, because she would have had to sprinkle the confetti, fabric for this flower here in the general area. Then the tulle goes on, and so it's kind of nice that the stitching is in the middle and there's some loose around the outside.
Yeah.
It makes it very kind of happy and simple.
Yeah, and the beads add a really nice element as well.
Yeah, the beads also kind of dark in the bottom part there.
Yeah.
This has been fun talking about it.
It has been.
Remember, make time for contemporary quilting every day.
Visit our website, quiltingarts-tv.com, for access to selected project instructions, ideas, tips, and techniques from this season of Quilting Arts TV. If you enjoyed today's episode and want to see more contemporary quilting techniques and inspiring guests, a digital download of the entire Quilting Arts TV series is available for $29.99, or receive both the digital download and a subscription to the magazine for $59.95. Available at quiltingarts-tv.com. Quilting Arts TV is brought to you by
The BERNINA 990. If it can be imagined, it can be created.
Panasonic, maker of the 360-degree freestyle cordless iron.
Artistic artifacts, sewing and mixed media supplies for hands-on creativity.
eQuilter.com, quilt fabrics and sewing supplies, international distributor of Fabrics Online.
Gentle Fuse Fusible Web, made for quilters from Maywood Studio.